Hello everybody, how you guys doing today? Welcome in, Lion Joker, Greenleaf Terrain. How you guys doing this morning? Doing pretty well. Greenleaf, I have an actual story here related to that. So, I grew up in this little tiny town, like in the middle of nowhere. And I actually was like friends. I went to school with this kid named Billy. And but Billy's dad was like, I don't even remember what he raised horses for a living. So he would buy like younger horses and then raise them and then sell them for a profit when they were like grown up or whatever. So that's what he did for a living. And another friend of mine, who was it? This kid named Tyler, I want to say. And I don't know what his dad did. His dad probably worked in a warehouse or something. But Squishy Starlet, welcome in. I remember we were on a football team together, and Billy and Tyler's dad got in a fight, like a fist fight, in the parking lot, which is wild. They got in a fist fight, like in front of everybody, just like two like random dads fighting over something, and I remember for like the next couple weeks at school, those two boys like hated each other, and they would like go back and forth about it, about how like, well, my dad beat up your dad, and the guy's like, well, your dad was biting, so it doesn't count, and like, and all this stuff. Like, it was a big thing. But needless to say, Billy's dad won. The rancher was a lot stronger than whatever weird warehouse backwards sunglass wearing dude. So, interesting. How you guys doing this morning? Happy Tuesday, everybody. We're gonna paint. That's what we're doing. That's what we're here for. Here we go. You guys ready for this? So I'm going to mix up some colors to start here. That's what we're doing. I think that might be a good tone. Let's do a little more olive flesh in here. Okay, it's a nice color. One wins a fight, except the spectators. Yeah, that's fair. I didn't remember seeing it because I was, I was like leaving practice or whatever. Like it was the very end of like football practice. But Starlet, what's up? All right, where am I looking? In whips? Sure, let's take a look at whips real quick. Guys, go look at Quishy's minis and whips. Oh, I'll paint some Eldar. Are those the plastic ones? Their posing is so similar to the metal ones, aren't they? Those look like they're the newer plastic ones. Good deal. Good stuff, Quishy. I like it. I like the colors. I love the turquoise. The turquoise with like the orange is always great. Oh yeah, we can talk about 11th edition reveals. Absolutely. And yeah, John Lockridge, welcome in on YouTube. Yeah, people, lots of crying and gnashing of teeth. I'm gonna let me give a quick summary. First modern day non-metal marine model I painted. Oh, very cool. Yeah. I have one of these for my Ultramarines. So I do like this mini. I got it to be like ready for a tournament. I brought it in a tournament, but that was pretty much the last 40k games I played. But yeah, I like the mini. I'm painting this. This is a small commission for actually the one and only Crucial Blue. So he asked me to paint this Librarian for him, and I am more than happy to do it. So, okay, my opinions about 11th, and I'm gonna throw this out here real quick with the Armageddon set and with the hype for 11th. So, I have played 40k for a very long time. I got into it at the tail end of 3rd edition. and was pretty steady with 40k through like 7th. It was kind of 7th edition. I kind of fell out of it. I tried 2 games of 8th edition and hated it, and I stepped away. I was playing other games. I was playing Star Wars Armada, Star Wars Legion, X-Wing, lots of Star Wars games, but doing lots of that stuff. I got back into 40k with 9th edition. I remember when 10th edition was announced, we were streaming it. I think I streamed the live stream with the big announcements and stuff, but super hyped. The set looked cool. Kind of some weird choices with minis in the 10th edition set and everything, but we're ready. I played a lot of 10th, and then kind of got bored with it, I guess. Wraith, WA, welcome. Welcome in. Thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, everybody. Guys, go follow the Wraith, WA, and thank you so much for the follow. Oh my goodness. All the things. All the things. Hey, how was your stream, Wraith? Hey, we're going to take a look at Line Joker's mini real quick. Just a minute. Getting started on this cloak here. Just some thin coats of paint. Also, mini painting? What were you painting? So, as a little background, I was really into it in 10th. Around that time, I was all in on 40k. I was kind of enjoying 9th edition. I knew the change was needed. I liked 10th initially and kind of got bored with it. From this 11th edition announcement, I have not been able to really bring myself to care about it. I gotta be honest. As a personal opinion here, I feel like I don't have any like dog in this race, right? Like, I don't think I'll get the launch box unless there is like something in there that just completely changes my mind. But seeing what they've previewed so far, which is a whopping 4 miniatures, right? There has been nothing that's caught my eye. All right, oh, Lion Joker, a little diorama. Oh, a little Votan diorama. Okay. Nice. Good stuff. Yeah, the like orange with the blue cloth I think is great. Axe looks good. You painted the eyes and everything on the Votan guy. Nice work, Line Joker. Good stuff. Guys, check out Line Joker's mini. And people post the minis today in Discord. It's great stuff. Here for cool minis. Exactly. Yeah. All Space Marine fans need to take a deep breath. Vanguard vets and Armageddon will be push-fit models designed for beginners, which is ultimately who they're aimed at. Show Marines are, how do I say this? If that's in the starter box and the start collecting boxes, maybe they should have given it to IG dudes and orcs, yeah. I have to say, John, I gotta disagree with you a little bit. Alright. Jet, welcome in. I gotta disagree with you. The Vanguard vet is incredibly boring and lame. Yes, it's an intro set. We all understand that. However, look at the Stern Guard veterans from Leviathan. You can't tell me those Stern Guard veterans are boring and lame because they're push fit. Because they are push fit, and those minis look great. They look like Stern Guard veterans. And, you know, of course we only see one mini so far, but they're you know, Games Workshop is very deliberately choosing to show this mini. And I feel like there's a reason they're showing this mini. And if this is like where they're leading, you know, that doesn't seem very good to me. So I have not seen anything in that set that has caught my interest. And there's nothing about the 40k rules update that has caught my interest enough for me to want to come back to 40k and play games or collect minis for 40k proper. So I have not been very interested in any of it, to be honest. I'm still following it because that's what I do. I love following the the news and the rumors and everything, and what's going on. So it's like a hobby in itself. But as far as like collecting and jumping into the game and getting the minis and being excited about it, I'm just not. Um, After all, beginner army, they're designed to be easy to build and paint. Yeah, you can make things easy to build and paint and still look good. And still be interesting and have cool stuff. But like the mini they showed is literally a jump intercessor with a plasma sword. And like the laziest looking loincloth on him. Yeah. Hey Zen, what's going on? Stans, I don't think I'm gonna be going for the starter box. Just get the core rules. Yeah. Yep. Just read the rules online if I really want to play 40k. I am interested in seeing Jaded Welcome in. I'm interested in seeing the Jump Pack Chaplain because back in the day, the metal Jump Pack Chaplain was probably one of my favorite minis in all of 40k. Say the reveal of Vanguard Vet may not be the most ornate, but we'll have to wait for the full universe. Yeah. I don't understand why they would lead with the boring one though. And they could very well be doing that, but that is a choice, you know. I also think, and it's fine if people are looking forward to it, that's fine. But I personally have not seen the hype for 11th as I have for previous editions. And maybe it is the 3-year cycle just catching up with everybody. I think 40k is more popular than ever. And when you have people getting in and then they're just like, oh yeah, you gotta change all your rules. And you gotta buy, all these new things, which, okay, the codexes will be usable at the beginning of the edition, but anybody playing Space Marines, which is most people, will be replacing their codex right away because, let's be real, the first codex of the edition is going to be Space Marines. And then, on top of the maybe not quite as goodwill as GW would want for announcing a new edition, they're also showing off some, quite mediocre miniatures. And that's, they're not putting their best foot forward is basically what's happening. They're choosing to show off the minis that they're choosing to show off. And, if the marketing team thinks that mini is the one that's going to get the hype from people, how mistaken are they? And like obviously it's not a mini that's generating hype for that set, right? Like whether you like the mini or not, I think we can all see that it's overall like not been well received. And the marketing team specifically picked that mini out as like, let's show off the Vanguard veterans, and this is the mini we're going to show off the Vanguard veterans. And maybe they think that's the best mini in the box. And if that's the best Vanguard veteran in the box, then we're all in for a very painful 11th edition starter set. Increase my fear we're going to lose all of our Dark Angels drip. Yeah, maybe. Dominion, Scave and Blight were not good for them. Dominion style limited starter set for 40k. Well, Peter, the 40k sets sell. Like, I would be surprised if this set does not sell out. Because Age of Sigmar launch boxes tend to just not sell anyway. That's an Age of Sigmar thing. That's not a Games Workshop thing. So I'm not. I wouldn't dare think that this set won't sell well. That they will, probably not produce enough. It'll sell instantly in a lot of cases. They might do a second print run like they did with Indomitus. I don't know. But yeah, I don't think they're marketing this edition very well, though. Looks like an Intercessor Sergeant. It does. It does. No Marines, need more Intercessors. It's 10 models. Ancient Librarian, Foot Captains, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the rest of the models may be really good in the set. They're saving the best for last. Who knows? Phobos Librarian. Yeah, I'm painting a Phobos Librarian right now. That's what I'm working on. I'm going to put a second coat on this cloak base color here. Previewing a printable model. I wager you to be worried about new models being ripped off before launch. You think so? I don't know. Maybe. That's got to be in the back of someone's head out there. You're being overcritical about a lot of it. Models, fine. Most models coming out are good. I don't expect a new box to blow my mind. Starter box, model pose. Yeah, my draw, and we were talking about this earlier. If you compare this Vanguard veteran to the Sternguard veterans from the Leviathan box, I think you will see a lot of the reasons for the complaints. Where the Sternguard have like cool drip and interesting things, and they're also monopose push fit models. And they also fit really well with the multi-part plastic set that came afterwards. So I think if they're making a boring Vanguard box, they're probably making them similar enough to match up with whatever multi-part box, which is also pretty boring if that's what they're doing. So the new orc model is pretty good. Yeah, I've never been like a huge fan of orcs, but yeah, they're pretty good. I don't like the combo shooty Slug-a-Boy thing, but that's a personal preference very much. So it'll sell well, if only because there's a ton of orc players. Yeah. Yeah, I think orc players are going to be happy regardless. I think people that play Space Marines, which is most people, right, have like a luxury to be able to complain about very specifics with their models. Cue the meme of the guy with the water pipe just like pouring water in his mouth, and the other guy and like Xenos players and everything, like we're just excited to be included in the launch box, right? So I think that's basically where we're at between the two sides of it. First Sternguard box have a place to put some of its shoulder pads. Yeah. Scrupulous 3D printers are also a huge concern here. Doesn't want people essentially stealing their design, which happened a lot. Yeah. Which, that may be a reason why GW caters to the competitive community so much. Because in the competitive community, you can police 3D prints a lot easier than just people playing in their garage, or playing in their living rooms or whatever. Maybe that's part of the reason they focus so much. Competitive community tends to eat everything, though. They'll buy all the stuff that GW puts out. So, which paint? I'm painting a Phobos Librarian, and this particular Phobos Librarian is for Crucial Blue. Crucial Blue sent me just a request get this mini painted for him. So I had an incident yesterday that affected what I'm doing today. So the original plan, and we talked about this last week, was to paint the pugs. You guys remember Galaxy Conquering Pugs, and the with Commissar Bark and friends, right? So yesterday, I'm doing some airbrushing on some other minis and kind of mess around with stuff. Well, I get these minis out, these pugs, to get them ready for today to put on my desk. And one of them, his head split open and was leaking liquid resin everywhere. So, unfortunately, hold on just a second, guys. Hold on. So yeah, one of the pugs head broke open because of 3D print, leaking liquid resin everywhere. It's done. What I found out looking at it, and I can show you guys here later, the mini itself was hollow. And the person who print this, and this was an Etsy seller, we were kind of doing some digging, me and the client who purchased the mini. The Etsy seller hollowed the minis and didn't add drain holes. And a thing about resin, about liquid photopolymer resin or whatever it is, it's always in a state of curing. Okay, so it's always curing, and when resin cures, it's an exothermic reaction, and it releases a gas. Okay, well, when there's no drain holes, you're left with liquid resin, but also that sits inside that, like, the hollowed spot, but it's also continuing to cure and release that gas, so it builds up pressure, and eventually, always be curing. Yep, ABCs, yeah. So eventually what happens is when minis have hollow spots that don't have a vent, the gas builds up pressure and it breaks the mini. Sometimes they violently explode. Okay, not enough to like hurt people, but it will like send stuff everywhere. This one fortunately cracked like really bad, but it didn't like explode. But resin was pouring out of it, so there's liquid resin in it. It's done. I can't do anything with this mini at this point. It's completely done. Which leads to another concern where if one of those minis was hollowed out and didn't have drain holes, how many of the other 5 minis are also hollowed out and don't have drain holes? I could take a small drill into the minis and see if there's a large cavity inside the minis. However, I could find like cavities and hollow spots, but I don't know if there's multiples. So like how many parts do I have to drill into just to make sure that there's no hollow points at all in the minis? Because it could be a tiny hollow spot in something I wouldn't guess, or it could be just one giant cavity. I have no idea, and there's no way of telling until the minis explode, which is unfortunate, and which is why I hate Etsy 3D printers like these. I will never recommend and will never buy minis from that are printed by an Etsy seller. Something that's never going to happen. What's up, Blue? And Starlet, you want me to check out? Let's check out your whips. Oh, it's Kroot. Starlet's got Kroot. Sweet. Man, the bright blue is wild on those. The Hunters, is that what they're called? Kroot Hunters in the Whips channel? Yeah. Yeah, go check out Misfits Kroot here. Got lots of people submitting minis during stream right now. Create a block on how to paint Votan. I don't have a color scheme I like picked out. Could use some help figuring that out. Okay, okay. Dang, good stuff. John Lockridge, Votan are tough to get a good color scheme in my opinion. I personally, I think they work best from like my eye with darker colors, but like one main like really dark color like black or a dark blue or a dark green, and then the cloth underneath being a bit brighter. Not that you have to do brighter cloth, but I think making them a little more grounded I think works really well with them. I'm not like the biggest on the Votan aesthetic anyway, so I might not be the most unbiased opinion about Votan color schemes, but I do like a good like dark color scheme for Votan. Starlight, you shoved the Fire Wars for the moment. Oh, okay. Crew Rampagers, that's what they are. Yeah. And Peter, we had this happen a lot with large Forge World recasts. Mastodons and Raptors the worst. They would crack the wings or front door. Yeah, so recasts, so the resin that Forge World and those recasters use is spin cast resin. It's a lot different from the photopolymer resin that like 3D printers use. So the spin cast resin, once it cures, it's done. It doesn't cure based on UV light, where the photopolymer stuff, it's UV light cures the resin, and that's how you create the miniatures. They each have their own issues, right? So normally the photopolymer stuff doesn't warp, and is a lot more rigid, right? And means it's also hard if it somehow you get it to warp. It's harder to set back into place. But it's also much more toxic, I think. I don't know, they're both kind of toxic in a way, like but yeah, just man, I do not trust these 3D printers that come about. They are shady Etsy 3D printers. So I'm trying to find the STLs for these Conqueror pugs so I can print them for the gentleman, so I can print them myself and then paint them. But at the moment I put all of them in a container and they're gonna sit there, including Commissar Bark, which is really unfortunate, but he's got to go into the plastic prison so he doesn't explode and get resin on everything. Anyway, we can continue on here. Old Space Lego sets are the best color schemes for Vega Votan. Cloth, like Pants in the Warriors? Playing Field Gray. Yeah. No, John Lockridge, those are all great choices. Yeah, like a really deep like forest green with the Field Gray pants, that'd be great. That'd be so good for Votan. But also like, yeah, brown might be, I don't know. I don't know if brown would work well or not. Brown with gray pants. Shady Printer, GW just make the models I want to buy. That's true. I don't think GW is going to be making the 40k themed pugs anytime soon. But yes, I do agree. Wizard guy and his robes will probably be brown like sackcloth. Oh, that's cool. Okay. I mean, it seems like you have some pretty good ideas at this point. They'd make a killing if they did. Yeah, every time they sell like animals for these games, they hype them up a lot, but they tend to sell a bunch. We happy with how the Elder? Yeah, they're looking good. Looking really good, Quishy. Get my Rogue Veteran box back. That, yeah, the Dark Angels kit. That was an excellent set. I had that set for my homebrewed Space Marine chapter way back in the day. Twin Lance almost done. Assembled, right? Yeah, getting them assembled. Are you going to paint them right away, or what are you going to work on painting next? Or I guess what's next on the docket? Is it going to be a lot of Thousand Suns stuff? Painting Thousand Suns, nice. With Thousand Suns. You going to finish Magnus? I haven't forgot. I know Magnus waits. Yeah. Well, maybe some different colored shoulder pads for some models shown being different kinds of traveling workers. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Like an orange or red or like white bar on their shoulder pad to show that they're, yeah, like a different caste or different employment or something. Fantastic. I don't know, man. I think you got some great ideas with your Votan. Next army I work on, the Grand Order, the Hermetic Blades, gold trim, bluish, off-white panels. Very nice. Is the lighting good on the Mini? I feel like I got the camera lighting situated pretty well. Just hold it steady. Some SOTs. Scarab Cults? Yeah. Bronze and Jade with white cloth. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, yeah. Excellent color choice, blue. Yeah. Jade is always great looking color, but then yeah, you combine it with the bronze for Thousand Suns, like that's going more like the Space Marine 2 route, right? They're very much almost like a jade color. Yeah, this is your mini blue. Yeah. Jade is a great color. Yeah, definitely no bias there, right? Oh man, I have Star Wars Legion minis to work on here soon, and I'm hoping I get my set in that I pre-ordered, and my store was being big jerks with apparently ordering it too late or something. I don't know, but I have Tauntaun, Luke, and Han primed and base coated, so dudes eventually. Okay, there's no cloth there, leather there, but his gloves. What color trim on the shoulder pads on this guy? Work at that. Well, my one paying work job kind of went under yesterday, so this was the mini I had prepped and ready, and it was either paint this mini or just paint some random minis of mine. I figured I'd get some work done on your mini, if that's okay with you, Blue. Blue pays for this job, and then he's like, get it done after everything else. Get it done after paid work, right? like Michael's idea of Luke in Tauntaun. Yeah, I'm sure that's a print somewhere. I found, okay, I was looking for STLs because I want a General Riken mini. If you guys are familiar with General Riken, he's the dude on Hoth that like orders the evacuation. Okay, the rebel general. He's a cool character. Whatever. He shows up for like 5 minutes, but I was looking for his mini. So I was looking. There's a couple big STL creators for Star Wars Legion. There is one that I found, and it is. They're calling it like an objective piece. Yeah, it is. It is. I found one. Yep, I found a General Riken. But looking for it, I found one, and it was called. What was it called? Oh man, it was like something about being in fear. Hold on, I might have this. I might have this one saved. I gotta see if I can pull this up here. The one. Load page. What you doing? Not that one. It was from Darkfire Designs. So what it is. It was a character from Andor called Cyril. You guys remember Cyril? He was like the kind of weird incel dude. It was just him laying on the bed, like face down, like feet hanging off the bed. And that was the whole mini. If I find it real quick, I'll post a link in the chat. Because it's so perfect. Where are you? Where are you? I don't remember the name of the STL, so I can't just like look it up. Okay, can't find it. If I find it, I'll post it, but can't find it. The guy with the overly punchable face and attitude. Yeah. He's such a good character. And then they just have the STL with him where he just... his mother visits him and he's just laying on the bed. Like, he just walks into his room, just plops down in the bed. It's incredible. And this person made an STL of that you can print. And they're like, yeah, it's a point of interest objective. That's what it's there for. Yeah, the actor did a great job. Yeah. Hold on, Blue did you answer my question? I can't remember. What color trim on the shoulder pads for these dudes? Just green, right? You just do green trim. Nothing fancy. What's chapter proof for Dark Angels? I don't know. You're the Dark Angels fan here. So Jaded Valkyrie should be able to answer that. You did gold trim. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can do gold trim. We're gonna do some dark silver. And a lot of this stuff. We'll have fun with the sword eventually, but I guess we'll just start it with silver. I want to put a wash down over the blue. Dealer's choice, alright. I don't want to make decisions. I think these power cablings are like yellow, if I'm not mistaken, on this mini. But we can check real quick. Look up this mini. As sneaky as a Space Marine could be, right? They are yellow, yep. That old 360 image here. Okay. Get a smaller brush. Get some of this silver here. Yeah, they're yellow on your turban. Yeah, yeah. Don't know why those things are yellow, but they are. Let's not make mistakes, that'd be great. They're all iron and silver colored? Okay. Yeah, that's fair. The iron and silver color probably look better. I know when I painted mine, I kind of followed the box art, if you will, and did them yellow on mine as well. A lot of that binding will be gold. That's a lot of gold that's going to happen. Clasps are silver. Iron, silver, and red cloaks will push me toward Dark Angels over Black Templars. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, hey, that's fair. That's the fun part, is you get to be creative, right? I think that's it for silver. Oh. Nope, we gotta get these things. Alright. Put a nice deep wash on the blue. And then we continue on debating whether to put a wash on the khaki. I think I do. I think I put a little bit of a wash on it. Let's start with the blue though. And we're gonna do this Payne's Gray wash, which is a very dark blue. It's the Payne's Gray. It's a great wash. Down a little bit. This mini is base coated with dark blue gray, I believe. It's one of the AMP colors from Pro Acryl. So Black Templars, kind of done highlighting. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, this is what we're doing this week. I don't see why we couldn't finish this tomorrow. So we watched the series premiere of Maul, Shadow Lord last night. The first 2 episodes came out. It was cool. It was good. It's very much like a noir almost. Like one of the main characters is a detective on this planet and trying to deal with like organized crime, and it seems like it's always nighttime when everything's happening, and yeah, a lot of interesting things like that. That's cool so far. I think it's 10 episode season, and they have the first 2 episodes out, and they're just doing 2 episodes a week. Okay, now I'm gonna take a really diluted. It's a new genre. Yeah, yeah. It still very much is like a Star Wars animated series, like in that same vein as Clone Wars, Bad Batch, Rebels kind of thing, but it's criminal underworld, like small scale stuff. And yeah, yeah, very much like, yeah, a little more of that kind of noir feel to it. Let's see. Yeah. So, yeah, first 2 episodes are out. Yeah, that's good. Okay. Alright. Good tone. Just some diluted, strong tone from Army Painter. I try to keep my brush strokes from top to bottom. So if the wash is settling down toward the bottom. And I think what I've realized with washes is you don't want a strong wash over cloth, especially like this. The Games Workshop cloth is so like flowing with lots of flat surface on it and everything, and the strong wash makes the highlights too difficult in my opinion. I want something a little more gentler to make that lighting. Some of these kind of bigger folds, place a little bit more the wash in there. Okay. I think that's it for that wash. So darkened it well. As we build up, it'll kind of keep some of those shadows. And I think what I'll do... See, a little bit of this pure, strong tone. Alright, there you are. Get some of the leathers on them.
First of all, let me take just a moment to thank you for allowing me back into
Hey, welcome in. Thank you for the follow.
Look at me!
Alright, Blue, where am I looking? Completed. Alright, 1 second. Finish up this brown wash. Gives it an extra second or two to dry also. You fear Billy's dad? Yes. Yes, I do. I mean, if Billy's dad wanted to fight over a game of Warhammer, then sure. I'm not about to get in a fist fight with somebody, though. A gorgeous blue. Ah, thanks. It's just, dark. Hold on, let me see. What was my color here? Not dark blue. It wasn't you. It was you. Dark navy blue. This was my base color. And then I put a wash of Payne's Gray over it. 2. Alright. Completed projects, guys. Let's look at Crucial Blues Mini here. Oh, you got the frog. Man, the resin pour looks really good. That's really well done. Nice. The like bluish purple with the like magenta frog is incredible looking too. The effects on the trees are great. Yeah, fantastic stuff. It's a great looking mini. Oh yeah, you're talking about Blues Mini, not the color blue. Oh, that's funny. Oh, fantastic. That's incredible, dude. Incredible work. It was all purples, reds, and orange and a pink. Oh, nice. Didn't you have, you had people vote on it, right? Or people suggest colors? Yeah, and like the good, like brackish water. Really good looking. Great stuff. So all to evoke awareness for breast cancer. The brackish water was green and orange alcohol inks. Couldn't use green for that. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, could not use green. Yeah, yeah. That's really cool, though. Yeah, wonderfully done, Minnie. Rachel, welcome in. Oh, let's... A little bit of flesh. He's got his face exposed here. Face color on here. No, we're messing up the blue. Back and correct it. Okay, we'll start with that. The Inapro Pirate, welcome. Linz Throff, welcome, 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 everybody. How are you guys doing today? How's everybody today? Happy Tuesday. Hope everything's going well. We're just working on this Librarian and Phobos armor. That's our project for the day. Probably the next 2 days or so. Be here painting it. I was digging through some collections of mine, and I realized that I have way more Star Wars minis than I thought I did. Like, way more. So I was kind of organizing things, and I'm wanting to collect a Rebel army, so I had never like consciously collected Rebels as an army before. I have a droid in a Republic army, but so I was getting some minis out and ready. And I think what I might do, if I'm able to, maybe the month of May will just be like Star Wars month. And I think I'm just going to try to hammer out a bunch of Rebel minis. I have a lot of characters to paint, so like just minis that I've kind of gathered and not touched. Good, other than some of that. Yeah. Finished work. Finish building your Black Templar's Vindicator. Man, Vindicators are so cool. Yeah. Process for the water. Yeah. Yeah, I did have a nice Easter. We had a my family, both my son and my wife were on spring break this past week, and we tried to make sure the painting son got to do everything he wanted to do, which basically involved seeing a ton of friends and family and doing like overnights and stuff. And so he did that, and we were all exhausted going into Sunday. But we spent time with some family. We came home in the afternoon and sat for like an hour and a half and didn't talk to each other. It was great. Easter was nice. Then I streamed that evening, and I was testing out my new True Metallic Metal Reds, and I think that these True Metallic Metal Reds will be replacing my Clear Red on my Thousand Suns. So, it's always good. But yeah, so I have a bunch of Star Wars minis. I was thinking, man, Star Wars characters are so much fun to paint. I have K2SO that's unpainted. I have Sabine Wren who's unpainted. I have Luke Skywalker. I have Luke and Han on Tauntauns. I have man, what else do I have? I should be getting a Leia mini. Yeah, random astromechs and commanders and just all kinds of stuff like that. So it's really excited. Always wanted to hear. Yeah, so the true metallic metals are great. I only have the red set, but I will show you the red. Let me show an example here. Okay, this is a Marine I had painted a while ago. Okay, and I have my metallic red. Now this is red that is, this is a clear red over a metallic paint, then covered with 2 varnishes, then washed with black, highlighted with a white gold, and then varnished with a satin varnish. That is this red. Okay, this is the red, and I'll show you the backpack on this other mini. This next red is just a prime, and then I put a base coat of the true metallic red base, the ruby red base, this color here. I then covered it with a dilution. It was 50-50 of this Angron clear red to kind of bring out some of the oranges, and then I used this shade here, and then I did the highlight of the white gold on the backpack and shoulders. But I'll show you how close this color gets. Look at that. So much less of a headache. And it is about as identical of a color as you can get. And it's just an acrylic paint that you put down as the base color. I don't have to worry about overdoing the clear red or underdoing it, or painting it too fast and it like spiders out the not dry airbrush paint. I don't have to worry about giving it 24 hours to dry before I can touch anything. I don't have to worry about covering it with 2 varnishes so it doesn't reactivate. I don't have to worry about any of that. Yeah, I just paint it. And this is without a varnish yet, so there's no varnish on here, which might kind of even it out a little bit. But very happy with this red, and I think that's definitely my red going forward. So, why isn't there enough Commie Bolters in the Blight Lord Terminators kit for all 5 turns? I have no idea. GW wants you to buy more. That's why. That's why, Night Trap. Welcome in, by the way. Second Army, Iron Warriors. Oh, nice. Good time to get an Iron Warriors, I guess, right? And I think it looks like this coming Sunday is going to be the Armageddon campaign popping up. So new guard tanks and the Sisters of Battle Walker lady and the orc biker guy. I think all that stuff is coming this Sunday. Swill Paint Pot, welcome in. How you doing? Doesn't matter for me if I equipped guys with heavy weapons. Just don't get why they're set up that way. Yep. Brand of the First Legion, you say. What brought about this stroke of good luck for all of us who are line enjoyers? Crucial Blue paid me to paint this mini. That's what brought it up. So, where am I looking? Finished. Under is okay. Oh yeah, nice. Little chips and bits are hereby relocated to battle damage. That's really cool though. No, the silver and black is great for a color scheme. Your basing's really well done. I love the like jungle theme you got with the base, like the crazy foliage. Great stuff. The capes on the dudes. No, fantastic, Jada. That's great stuff. Thank you for sharing. So give away me as well dump all 80k of my points into it. Yeah. No. It's not. It's not. Alright. We got some coats of that paint. Let's get our next deal here, and I think what we can do, I think I'm gonna start going a little more into this this cloth here. So let's do this. It's the shield one of the Blight Lords. Oh no. A little bit. I didn't realize you were such a Dark Angels enjoyer, Spilled Paint Pot. Always thought you were more like traitor persuasion. I mean, Dark Angels are traitors, but you know what I mean. What I love about Dark Angels is that they're all about keeping their secrets, and their secrets are like, hey, Michael Vissinger, welcome in. They act like if people find out their secrets, then it's gonna be like the doom of their legion. But like every chapter has horrible secrets that they keep, and you know, like half your legion turning traitor 10,000 years ago is probably very low on the list of like, that's horrible and you should do something about it. It's like, yeah, that happened with just about every legion, you know, like they all had members that turned traitor or stayed loyalist or whatever. Not that big a deal. Oh, it's Desert. Oh, welcome in, Desert. How you doing? Long time no see. Mephitic Blight Hauler is the only push fit kit that you like. Oh, yeah, okay. He fell, get him, yeah. First Love back in third. Played the crap out of Raven Wing. Iron Warriors are hard, but building a few thousand points Dark Angels. Yeah, yep. Hey, man, yeah. If they call to you, then that's that. Nobody wants to know how Space Wolf's secret of sniff greeting or... No. That meme, who posted that meme about Space Wolves with the Thousand Suns picture? I love it. I saw, okay, so there's a meme someone posted and they tagged me in Discord. And it's so funny because, you know, it's like they think you're going to talk about Thousand Suns, but then it's about Space Wolves. I saw that same meme posted in like the Grimdank subreddit, and people in the comments were going ballistic. Like the Space Wolf fans in that were just freaking out. And like, you know, oh, you guys should read, you can't read. Nobody can read, and that's why this meme gets pushed around. It's misinformation and all this stuff, and it's like, okay, just all right. It's Grimdank, yeah. I'm not familiar with the community there. I'll see the memes there and stuff, but Man, there are a lot of upset people when that person posted that. Someone called them Finresian snowflakes. They should have. I didn't remember see that. Did they bark a lot? Yeah, they're just barking. You say it's cooler, librarians or sorcerers? I mean, I'm kind of a Thousand Sun enjoyer, so like sorcerers, but librarians are cool. I don't know. It's nice to know that like there's a career path if you have a degree in librarian sciences, right? When the Imperium takes over, you have a place. You would consider getting into one of those programs. That's really cool, actually. Yeah. The world needs more librarians. Does skull hunting and demon summoning not count as a career? I mean, yeah, it does. Be potentially very lucrative. Best hobby in the world? Wait, summoning demons or painting minis or being a librarian? I say as long as you're having fun. And hopefully not hurting anybody. Yes, all of them. Just summoning demons, just so you have someone to talk to. Just like, I'm lonely, I'm bored. $40K in general, yeah. It is a great hobby. What kind of stuff you collect? Conversations with the Zinch Demon? Yeah. I feel like the Zinch Demon wouldn't want to let you talk. Seem like they'd be extra chatty. Is the painting son a Zinch Demon? Maybe. Astra Militarum. Oh, I love it. Are you excited for the new vehicles they got coming out? The Hippogriff and the Centaur, right? I particularly love the Hippogriff, but I think they both look really cool. So hyped. Nice. I love it. What are those weirdos summoning Slanesh demons are doing? We all know what they're doing. There's no mystery. Yeah, you summon a Nurgle demon, like everyone's gonna know. Within like your whole city block is gonna know the moment you do. And you're just like, what is that awful smell? Okay. One more little spot to get here, and then we're gonna bring this color up a little bit. Just screeching, yeah. Can't wear these weird children, weird misshapen children digging through the trash, yeah. Hey, Polygon, welcome in. What are you doing? I am doing pretty great. Let's paint up a bit. Okay. Got lots of minis to paint. Got the time to paint them. So, can't complain. Tyranid Rippers, Nurglings, and Necron Scarabs. Which one would be the best pet? If you can handle the smell, the Nurglings probably. But otherwise, I'd say the Scarabs. I don't think the Rippers would be a very good pet. The Nurglings would be the most fun and definitely the easiest to communicate with. Just disgusting. Completely disgusting. Kind of off camera. Shift the view. Status, man. Okay. Alright. Not better. First die very fast comparing other Tyranid organisms. Yeah. Plague Marine or Corn Berserker? I'd rather fight a Corn Berserker. Again, better smell and I would die faster. So. Just get it over with at that point. Rubric Marine or Noise Marine? Probably Rubric Marine. I think a Rubric Marine killing you is a little less disturbing. Like it's just basically a robot at this point. It probably doesn't have second thoughts about, ooh, I want to inflict a bunch of pain or anything. It's just, I need to kill this thing, it's my job, and I'm going to kill it. I'm just assuming I am not beating any of these that I'm fighting, because They're literal space marines. So, Death by Metallica, though, yeah. Assuming they choose something entertaining to listen to, you know? Not just increase the suffering by picking the worst possible song. Fabius Bile or Calgar. 100% Calgar over Fabius Bile. He'd do something horrible to you. I feel like Night Trap's about to tell me that I belong in House Gryffindor or something after answering these questions. This is like a Facebook quiz from 2010. Getting killed by a baby shark would be pretty miserable. Yeah, it would. Yep. That's the thing. The song you hear when they play it is the worst possible one. The last one you'd want to listen to. I had Metallica's Black Album on cassette when I was a kid. That was like the first piece of music that I owned. I don't know where it came from or how I got it. I just know I had it and I listened to that so much. Who would be a better friend? A Night Lord or an Iron Warrior? Ugh. I don't know. Who would be a better friend? A Night Lord or an Iron Warrior? I think instinct is to say Iron Warrior. But then, like, you know, Iron Warriors are so just, like, uncaring about everything. So I guess if you were one's friend, that would be kind of the exception, which might be really good. I don't know. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Welcome to the pleasure. What? What are you talking about, Peter? Say if whoever crossed your path the moment you complain about them to a Night Lord? That's true, yeah. Night Lord would be like a cat bringing dead corpses to your door. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, the Night Lord might be the better friend, to be honest. I feel like Iron Warriors by their nature, like being a friend to the Iron Warriors probably isn't the most beneficial thing. But I also think like Night Lords have like some camaraderie. Wordbearer or Dark Angel? Would you rather be friends with? Dark Angel. I think the Wordbearer would sacrifice me. Wasn't there loyal Night Lords that fell with that Raven Guard? I would not doubt it, Jaded Valkyrie. Just because the heresy, that kind of stuff happens all the time. And I feel like as far as loyalist Night Lords go, Raven Guard are probably the best fit. I'm gonna go one stage brighter on this here in a minute. After this highlight. Iron Hand or a Corn Berserker? Would you rather be friends with? I mean, if I have to choose the two of them, it's probably be Iron Hands, even though they are like horrible to everybody they meet. Are there examples of loyal members of traitor legions creating their own chapter? I don't know about creating their own chapter, but there are plenty of examples in the Heresy of loyalist Marines continuing their traditions. I know for the Thousand Sons, there was the Fifth Fellowship, who were not on Prospero when everything happened, and they stayed loyal. And they actually fought on Cathonia with alongside Imperial Fists and such. There were also a lot of Marines that outright rejected their legion, whether they were loyalist or traitor, and they would band together, whether it was just a couple of them or like, you know, entire like chapters worth. But those were called they called themselves Black Shields. They would paint over their armor and kind of denounce their previous loyalties. And then probably the most famous example was the Knights Errant, who were made up of mainly traitor Marines. And they became basically the beginning of the Inquisition and the Grey Knights, in a way. There were a lot of different traitor legions represented in the Knights Errant. Yeah. Okay, let's do... What do you guys think of the cloak so far? Looking good. We're gonna do one more. Sly Marble or Lionel Johnson? Sly Marble. Definitely Sly Marble. He'd probably kill Lionel Johnson if he had to. And I've seen how Lionel Johnson treats his friends. Not something I want to be a part of. Okay. Getting better. Sweet. We're gonna do one more coat. I'm gonna do it like a pure ivory here. I've been doing olive flesh as my color, but this ivory will probably give us our last little highlight. Move on to next. Switch mount and comment with the word bears. Wait, who's GOTC? Who is that? Yeah, there's a lot of chapters out there that are suspiciously similar to Traitor Legions and could very well have Traitor gene seed that makes up their DNA. Sons of the Phoenix are a good example of one that are very much not at all like Imperial Fists. Or, okay, Guardians of the Covenant. Yeah, that could be one. Yep. The Marauder. Wait, are they called Marauders? Wait, who are they? The Minotaurs. Minotaurs, possibly based on Iron Warriors. The Blood Ravens could be a Thousand Sons gene seed. Their increased number of psychers, crazy secrets. Would you rather change and how? Iron Warriors or Space? To change Space Wolves, or just make them so they lose every once in a while, that they don't just like have to win every single fight they're in, because that's really bad writing. That's enough for me. Just like let them take an L every once in a while, and they'll be so much more interesting. Look at Ultramarines. you know. They had a period where it seems like they won all the time and people hated them. But they're much more nuanced at this point, and they're a lot more interesting. Oh, your army is Guardians of the Covenant? Oh, so you think they're based on word bears? That's really interesting. If you want to be part of a group infamous, restrict not answering questions about their history. Yeah, that's true. I think these kind of things are done on purpose, right? From GW, because it's cooler to have those kind of open-ended questions. If you had to name a Primarch of Legion... Oh, I have no idea. That's such an open-ended question. What would you do, Night Trap? If you were to name a Primarch. I would name them after myself. Okay. Cloak is looking good. We can highlight some blue. How about we do that? Let's get this dark navy blue, and I think what we do is we grab turquoise, which seems a little extreme. But I think that's good for a highlight. Oh, no, let's do our classic. We'll do gray blue. I wouldn't name him Ferris Manus, that's for sure. Yeah. It's fair. Drive toward recording, distributing written works. Armor scheme is similar to pre-heresy. Yeah, okay. Violent civilians. Covenant was named. Pre-imperial religion. Lordar followed. Okay, yeah. It sounds like they're definitely hinting at those being word bearers. The legion who worship Tzeentch. Rather have this legion who would have been more the Tzeentch worshippers. Oh yeah, like a South American style Primarch. Yeah. So I think I don't know like the Dornian heresy how they did that, who worshipped who, but I know what I would say is if we flipped it on its head and the legions that are loyalists went traitor, Blood Angels would definitely be Khorne, right? Who would be Slaanesh? I think Tzeentch would be Ravengard, honestly. Maybe just for the bird motifs might be the reason. But I do think Ravengard would be Tzeentch. Maybe the Iron Hands is Nurgle. Yeah, I don't know. I think for Tzeentch, I think it'd be Ravengard. Oh, okay. Alright, Night Trap. The Imperial Fists do have the weird thing with like the pain glove and stuff, so that might be, you know, very Slaanesh-y behavior anyway, as it is. Dark Angels fell with the Watchers just beat them up. I don't know. Were the Watchers a thing during the heresy? I feel like the Watchers wouldn't be too happy with Luther. They were around. They're native to Caliban. So they should be Emperor's children no matter what. Yeah. Well, maybe it would be. Maybe it'd be Iron Hands then. Maybe Iron Hands would be the Slanesh worshippers. Because of their, like, they have a pursuit for perfection, but in a very different sense. Maybe that would be enough for Slanesh to grab hold of, which would be a really wild concept. Send Caliban, keep watch over a demon, get prisoner there. New lore, they're watching or eliminate the effects of the old artifacts. Okay. Who put them there? Yeah, who would be Nurgle if it was a loyalist marine? Form themselves, schematize, paint scheme. Yeah, they'd be just all about their crazy augmetics, right? And that would be their Slanesh kind of worship. Yeah, Nurgle's a tough one because it is very much like, right, like Death Guard are the Nurgle dudes. Space Wolves? Would it just be Space Wolves? They also live on a death world. They never shower, they probably smell bad. I don't know. Alright, Night Trap. I'll accept your reasoning. We'll say Space Wolves or Nurgle. I think Salamanders are also a decent contender. Just because I think Nurgle has a way of warping people's good intentions, right? And I could see some kind of crazy plague or sickness sweeping a planet, and the salamanders trying to help everybody there, and it becomes a The whole thing that eventually turns him. Dark Angels be undivided? Probably, yeah. They'd make sense as undivided. The Happy Callaway was gone since the Chaos Corruption went with it. Oh, okay, okay. Okay. Next thing I need to do. Some of this paint. Add even more. Gray blue. Let's do more. A bit more. And more. It's nice color. I think Raven Guard would be Tzeentch. I definitely think Raven Guard would be Tzeentch. Just for the Raven vibes. Because literally the Raven is like one of the symbols of Tzeentch. And they're also... They're a legion that's friendly to Psykers. They're not like anti-Psyker. Yeah, and Korax has a lot of similarities with Magnus too. With how he like cares for his legion, and he's, you know, tries to be very, very humanitarian, I guess, with what he does, but not so much like salamanders. Yeah, Ultramarines are another reasonable contender for Tzeentch. I think like Ultramarine style though is so generalist. I don't think they'd lend themselves well to any particular Chaos God. Looks at a watcher. They just see a massive maw in the void. That's great. Yeah. Are they like basically like voids? Pariahs, but to demons specifically. Maybe Ultras would be like the Alpha Legion. Yeah, kind of playing all sides and yeah, doing all that. Yeah, as Alpha Legion does. That's a fair assessment, I think. Who would be Erebus? I have no idea. It'd still be Erebus. Because he is horrible in all realities. Okay, got all that. Calgar's Erebus is up. Well, that's before him though, right? I think the point of Erebus was he was just like some dude. He wasn't like a first captain or anything, right? So you'd need some kind of captain who wasn't necessarily a bigger authority, just a very good at scheming. The real question is, if the heresy was flipped on its head, and all the loyalist legions were actually traitor and all the traitor legions were actually loyalist, would they win? And I think the answer is yes. I think Horus literally got the worst batch of Primarchs if he wanted to win a war against the others. A while since I painted a Primaris Marine. Alone is a major boost in the long-term prospects of such a rebellion. Yeah. And if we're talking about any kind of war based in reality, Gilliman would win every single war against every other legion. Because he actually set himself up to win a long war, right? Like, the logistics dude is going to win the galaxy spanning war, provided he doesn't lose on like the opening stages. And that's basically it. So yeah, okay, that blue looks good. I'm gonna get out a color that I have not painted with in a long time. Let's see, there it is. Traders did. The Traders did win the Horus Heresy? I mean, no. I would say no. I'd say Chaos won. The Traders definitely didn't win. Okay. Oh, man. Look at that. Good old Caliban green. I am going to completely disagree that the Traders won. So Caliban green is a nice color. It is a terrible paint. Pigment is so thin on it. Takes many coats. Get anywhere reasonable. Dreadwing wouldn't have lost Terra. Phosphex doesn't care about walls. One like the traitor factions were just, they're just all over the place. They all had their own weird motivations, and no one could coordinate properly, and a lot of issues with them. Like, could you imagine Sanguinius running a war? Like, every Primarch would have listened to him and obeyed him the first time, because everybody loves Sanguinius. I mean, the Emperor might even join the rebellion at that point if Sanguinius was leading it. Got some opening colors. What is this color? Is that brown? You know, I'll use this brown wash. Yes, Sanguinius was the best. One of my favorite, like, web comic, like, comic strips or whatever. There was a, it was Malkador and the Emperor talking. And Malkador's like, he's like, my Emperor. He's like, where is Lorgar? And he's like, I don't know, somewhere on the other side of the galaxy. I haven't no idea where he is. And then Malkador is like, my Emperor, where's Sanguinius? And he's like, Sanguinius is sitting at the heart of Ball right now, and he's, you know, his facial features are like this, and he's wearing these clothes, and he has a sad look on his face because he's dealing with it. He just has, like, he knows exactly what's going on with Sanguinius. some of these washes on. There's still some different base colors I have to do, but it's nice getting some of these bigger colors on. I think tomorrow we're definitely going to finish this mini. It'll look really good. I have a lot of fun with it. Yeah, Sanguinius is great. You know who's horrible all around? Mortarion. Look at that color on. Do not hate whenever GW comes up to bring Sanguinius back. Yeah. Oh man, a Sanguinius model. Well, okay, here's my thought, Jaded Valkyrie. I think I have no thoughts on if they're going to bring Sanguinius back into 40k. However, I do think that eventually they're going to release plastic Primarchs for 30k. And I do think Sanguinius will be one of those. And I think that mini is going to be wild. I think that would be a very, very hotly desired miniature. I know there's a Valrak rumor floating around for a while about a plastic Gilliman. A new plastic Gilliman mini. And I honestly think that that is a Heresy era mini. Whether that's for the Scouring game that they're apparently working on or making, or if it's just flat out, Heresy, we'll see. But there's the only Blood Angels model in my collection. I need it, yeah. Man, without as expensive as it would be, like, I would love to have a collection of, like, all the Primarchs. Just to paint and display. I think it'd be fantastic. Yeah, if you do the math with the Forge World Primarchs, they're all about $150. So you're looking at about $3,000, a little short of $3,000, $2,700 or so, to get every Primarch, every Heresy Primarch, a single mini for each Heresy Primarch, and that's their mortal forms, not any of the transfigured ones. It's like, that's pricey. I don't think mortal Primarchs will cost that much in plastic, but that's still a lot of money. I'm very fortunate to have painted many of the Primarch minis. I've painted 4 Heresy era Primarchs, and I've painted 3 of the 40k Primarchs, so that's been really nice. But yeah, one at a time. Yeah. And it's supposed to be gold. It might need to be gold. It does need to be gold. Okay. Go. Yeah, I had a little streak there where people kept asking me to paint their Primarchs for them, so I painted 3 of them in like pretty rapid succession. It was Fulgrim, Kurz, and then Perturabo, all within like a couple months of each other. 5 of them I eventually want: Syngonia's Lion, Kurz, Korax, and Russ. Yeah, Korax would be a great one to paint. 30k Lion is good. He's a little like basic, maybe, but it's a great looking mini. Kurz is pretty wild to paint. He's got a really good mini. He's got tons of little pieces though. He was a little annoying to assemble. However, all of those resin Primarchs are an entire project just to assemble them. So I don't think there's been one that's been easy to assemble. Kurz. Was that one of your first streams? Nice. Yeah, that was Zendral's Kurz. Yeah. What a great mini. This coat of olive flesh, I think I might call stream today. Not done. We just have a lot of like little colors to highlight. I'll get another coat of that Caliban green as well. But a lot of colors to highlight. We gotta do the sword, which I painted silver. It doesn't need to be silver. So we're gonna do little glowy effects on it. What we're gonna do, but yeah, he's coming together really nicely already, so hope Crucial Blue is happy with it. I can paint a nice looking mini when I want. And tomorrow, I hope to have the print cam up and running. We'll see. I got stuff coming in. For some reason, it took like 2 weeks to get to me. All this shipping. It's really annoying, but hoping I can get all that back up and running. I have some stuff to print, but I'll print it during stream. You guys can watch the little print camera. A little fun extra thing. All right. Good stuff. Lots of progress. Low highlights going. Dark Angels Librarian. Yeah, got some metallics to get. We got lots of highlights to do. We got the 2 big highlight colors out of the way. The last like big thing that'll take a lot of time will just be the sword, but that's fine. Shouldn't be too bad. We will finish this mini up tomorrow. We got to figure out what to do on the base as well. But that's where we're going to call it today. You guys have a wonderful day, and I hope you guys have a great evening. I'll be on tomorrow. It should be about 11 a.m. Eastern when I jump on, and yeah, we'll have another chill day painting a Dark Angel. Not something I do often. But Jaded, thank you for hanging out, chatting with me. Thanks everybody for chilling. I appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great evening. Bye everybody.